Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to Knowledge TV. If you are new with the channel, please subscribe the channels and click the bell icon for new videos. We started criticisms from Plato. Inshallah, we will discuss all the criticism related to English literature. In this series, today's topic is Aristotle defense of poetry. Because Plato harshly criticized poetry. So in this video we will discuss how Aristotle defends the poetry. Aristotle was a great disciple of Plato. He took up the challenge of Plato to show that poetry is not only pleasant but also useful for men and society. Though Aristotle never directly refers to Plato, yet much of the poetic is quote reply to Plato. The poetic is systematic expositions of the theory and practice of poetry. A well-recognized rebuttal of Plato's charges against poetry. In this concern, Aristotle imparts new meaning and significance to Plato's concepts. Number first, Plato set out reorganize human life, while Aristotle set out reorganize human knowledge. Second, Plato was a transcendentalist, while Aristotle was a realist. Plato was an idealist. He believed that phenomenal world is but an abjection of the ideal world. The world of ideal is real. The world of ideas is real. The phenomenal world is but a shadow of this reality. Ideal reality, it is therefore fleeting and unreal. Aristotle, on the other hand, believed in the reality of the world of the senses. He thinks that this world is the real world. Thus Aristotle moves from real to the ideal and from particular to general. His methods are inductive. In this respect he stands opposite pole from Plato. Plato's language in the Republic is poetic and charming, whereas Aristotle's language is and poetic is dogmatic, telegraphic. It is a language of private personal notes of an intelligent teacher rather than a finished product. Number 5. Aristotle makes full use of terminology and doctrines of Plato. He further develops or refutes them and develops theories of his own on the basis provided in them. Plato was a more original genius, Aristotle more comprehensive and systematic genius. Plato was the first to use the word imitations in connection with poetry. Aristotle took the word from his master, but he breathed a new life and soul into it. Plato considered imitation merely as mimicry or servile copy of nature. Aristotle interpreted it as a creative process. He says that poet, while imitating reality, transformed it into something new and much higher. So he brought the emotions within the range of imitation. 7. Plato compared poetry to painting. Aristotle compared it to music and rhythmic according to Plato. Poetry imitates only surface appearance like a painter. According to Aristotle, poetry imitates not only external but also internal emotions and experience like a musician. In Plato, poetry presents a copy of nature. As it were, according to Aristotle, poetry may imitate men as they are. It may also imitate them either better or worse. Poetry is not concerned so much with what is, but with what ought to be. Poetry gave us an idealized version of reality. Thus, both Plato and Aristotle differ widely in their views on the poetic truth. Plato condemned poetry on moral, intellectual, emotional ground. Aristotle takes up subjections of Plato one by one and justifies poetry morally, emotional, and intellectually. He is the first to use the term catharsis in connection with tragedy, and this part of the poetics is highly original and moving. There is no such corresponding theory in Plato. The theory of catharsis enables Aristotle to demonstrate the healthy influence which poetry in journal and tragedy in particular exercise over the emotions. Plato took up the scepter on behalf of philosophy, and his purpose was to show that philosophy is superior to poetry, and so philosophy must replace poetry in the school. Aristotle, on the other hand, took up the scepter on behalf of poetry and effectively brought out its superiority. In his view, Aristotle is to be preferred to both history and philosophy. Plato regarded the emotion as undesirable, so advocated their repressions. Aristotle, on the other hand, stressed the need for emotional outlet. Emotion might be controlled and guided, but they must not be suppressed from whatever angle was considered. Plato. Aristotle mastered and fulfilled by staying poles apart. There were radical differences between these two minds, and out of this difference came the most formidable assault on poetry, and also the most effective defense of it. Aeselius Abercrombie very beautifully summarized the different points of view of two follows. Aristotle liked to process from real ideas, Plato from ideas to real, ideal world to real world. Aristotle had the scientific mind, whereas Plato had metaphysical mind. The nature of Plato's objection to poetry is quite in accordance with the nature of his philosophy, just as Aristotle answer to that objection is in accordance with the nature of his philosophy. Though Aristotle never says that his theory is answer to Plato, he never mentions Plato in the Poetics and never even alludes to the Platonic objections to poetry. Yet his whole argument exactly planned to invalidate Plato's arguments at every point. It seems a paradox to poetry to Plato, who in his youth had done exquisite things in poetry, and his maturity had such perfect command of literary art, that he could present his philosophy in verse. How much a man could condemn poetry, whereas Aristotle, whose works can scarcely be called literature at all, direct the full force of his philosophy for the justifications of poetry. So the both Ophel and teachers are contrary to each other because one was idealist and the second was realist. So they answer in a very beautiful way that poetry is not imitations, but it is the actual art, it is a creative art. I hope you understand the topics. Please subscribe the channels, comments, like, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching.